All right, back at the carport garage today. So Christopher's battery went out. I was having to jump him the last two passes just for him to start the car, and it kind of sucked because that turbo soaked so much. It smoked so much he was having to run it in the lanes, and I don't know, we got to fix that. I don't know if it's the turbo itself or just where this car has blow by. It's not letting it drain, so we're going to put one of them pumps on it and force it to drain, and hopefully that'll get rid of it. If not, we're going to have to send the turbo back. But his battery completely failed, and we went and got one of those Royal King batteries. Same thing I run on mine. They got a 3-year warranty, and they work good, man. I mean, they're $60 to $100 batteries. Chris's was 110, right? Man, it starts the car right up now. I mean, the other one started up before, but this one starts it better, and it's got lower cranking amps. And then my alternator pulled out, and that little patchwork I did at the drag strip did fix it. But I was just wanting to run the 6.5 index, and from having to run hour round trip and get more E85 this morning, we just wasn't able to make that. So we're going to just be doing the backside with Christopher's car at I-64. What do you think about it?
Yeah, feel bad you're not racing.
We don't really know what we're doing, but we did dial the suspension in really good for prep side. So I think on backside, we had 14 pounds tire pressure, and we could probably experiment with that. We could probably raise it until it starts spinning and then lower it back down until it stops spinning, and maybe even get more 60 foot out of that. But I think on this no prep, we're going to start with 12 pounds in the rear. How much in the trunk?
Probably 200.
150 to 200 in the trunk. We ain't decided yet. And we're going to leave the rear end alone. I think it's separating just the way I want it to. But we're going to make the front end come up faster, and we're going to make it stay up. So we tightened the compression 3 clicks, and we lowered the rebound 4 clicks. So hopefully it'll come up fast and it'll stay up. And that's the idea. That's what we're going to try. We don't really know what we're doing on this no prep stuff, so we know everybody's running weight in the trunk, and I know their front ends are coming up fast. Some people are having their rear ends separate, and some are having their rear ends squat. So I don't know what the best bet is for that. If anybody knows, y'all help us out. But that's where we're going to start. We'll see y'all at I-64. Got anything to add, Chris? No. All right. Loaded up, ready to go. Well, here we are. Doesn't look like a huge turnout because KD's having a race, and so is
No joke.
the no joke no prep. I forget where they're at, but yeah, there's a couple of bigger races around here, so not a whole lot here. All right, we started with 150 pounds in the trunk on the sandbags, and 3,500 give us a 1,560. 3,700 I think give us a 1.4, and then 3,800 give us the 1.3. So we don't have a lot of adjustability because we only got a manual boost controller and the 2-step, but probably lower the 2-step down and maybe turn the boost up a little so it'll launch soft and then come in hard up top. Driver's meeting. Chris got the buy on Main Street, but I forgot to record it. But he spun pretty bad all the way down through there. Alright, they combined small tire and Main Street, and Chris drew a small tire car. So we'll see what happens. This chases a race. I told Chris to try to steal the hit. lost to a small tire car that got through in bowling in a budget.
Did you already say we got the buy in Main Street?
We got the buy on Main Street. Yeah, I said that,
So
but
we
I
made a
forgot
pass
the
on Main
video of
Street,
it.
blew tires off the whole way. Didn't have time to change anything. Came back around. Well, we lowered the launch RPM. That's all we had time to do. Because it was like back to back. Ran it again. Blew tires off.
You
But
was
now-
out on the guy though at first, I think.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
He back half like crazy.
You got the jump on him a little, and then he went around you.
And then, so yeah, we
But
added
that was
50
a
pounds
small
of weight,
tire car.
lowered the boost control a little bit, put some rebound in the front. So hopefully this round.
Yeah, it looked like it was getting traction, then unloading the front was coming up and down
It
real
actually
fast.
started to hook up a little bit, but there's a little dip down there. It
Yeah.
kind of upset it too again.
Yeah, both of y'all blew the tires off at that dip. All right, Main Street, second round. Chris, right lane. Oh, we heard it. It's hurt. It's got a bad knock in it. She's hurt. All right. We was hoping it was a rocker arm, but it ain't. It's deeper. I was wondering what happened there. I know Chris fell out asleep at the light, but it looked like Chris was making faster passes than that car all night. But
Man, so I left first gear, and it left okay. It spun a little, but it was better than before. I shifted to second, and then it wasn't pulling RPM. Like the shift light usually just stays on. Like it whop whop, shift light set real low, but it wasn't coming on and nothing. So I was like, I kind of let out of it, and then I got back in it, and I was like, oh, that felt good. And then I was like, man, I let out of it for no reason. But then I got back around, and it was tot, 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 tot. And I was like, maybe that's why it wasn't pulling like it was supposed to. I was confused because the car wasn't pulling like it was spinning, but the shift light wasn't on, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like it wasn't pulling, but it also didn't have the shift light on, like it was blowing the tire off. So I don't know.
yeah.
Plus, I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm doing.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's hurt. And side note, I'm gonna get rained out anyway. Well, Chris is trying to figure it out. We did a compression test on it. Turned out pretty good, actually. He's gonna take the rockers off and check the push rods and just make sure there ain't no broken springs. Well, what did you find, Chris?
Well, the plugs look really good. And the timing mark is actually too little timing. So it's not timing related. The fueling was like the GoPro when we were out there is like 11.2, 11.3, so it's not fueling related. Took all the rocker arms off. Everything looks good. So your hypothesis is, oh yeah, compression test is good too.
Yeah, I think,
All the times we've dumped coolant into the oil.
yeah, I dumped a bunch of coolant in it.
I think we've done it 3 times.
When we did these head studs, I guess those you got to tighten all the way up. I've always tightened them up and backed them out a little bit, but when I did that, it leaked water in the motor bad, and we was actually how many passes did we make with antifreeze in the oil? A lot. We made we didn't even notice it.
Plus, when I first built the motor, I dumped where
Yeah,
the coolant passover is in the intake.
yeah, on the back,
Yeah, it had become
the coolant
corroded
pass
real
over.
bad.
This is supposed to be deadheaded. We've got it running to the front, but on a regular intake, it's deadheaded. But he had an old Torquer 2 intake on this when he first built it, and it was corroded real bad, and it leaked, and it leaked a bunch of coolant in the motor. Not to mention, this motor's been severely overheated. How many times?
At least 4.
I mean, severely.
Like
I'm-
260 severely.
No, I was, yeah. So this gauge goes up to 280. I actually had the gauge over here. I don't know how that didn't blow it up.
So what? I'm thinking it's a rod bearing.
Yeah, I think we spun a rock bearing. I think that antifreeze just got on the bearings
Just
and
wanna
ate
put
it
out
up.
there, man. You can show a plug, man. Actually, this
Yeah,
one's
the
got
plugs
best,
look good.
Let me show all of
And
them.
actually,
This one, see,
you can actually see a timing mark on them. From what I understand, see, you can see the timing mark. It's right where it's supposed to be. If anything, it could probably use another degree or two of timing.
So just want to put that out there too. It's not.
Yeah.
It wasn't the tune-up.
It wasn't too lean. It didn't have too much timing in it. As you can see, you can actually still see the timing mark from the last pass he made on all those plugs, and they look good. Yeah. So it just
we were really like, we're only gonna race maybe one more time this year, and we're already gonna take it apart and put new bearings in it because we knew it was already getting close to that time. It's been together for like probably 4 years now.
Chris don't come to race that much, but when he does, he makes passes. I tell you what. Usually we make, I don't know, 5 to 10 passes. We only made 3 last time, but we usually make
Last
them.
night, 3 today,
That's 6. So yeah. Plus I drive it every now and then, just to drive it, because it's kind of bad on them to let them sit. It's good to get them out and drive it. So I get out and drive it. I ain't gonna lie, I get on it. But yeah.
probably the next little series on taking the motor out.
Yep, that's probably gonna be the next video we do. Cause I think the reason mine ran slow last time at the tracks because I left that filter on there. Plus, my tune needs dialed in. Plus, it was only making 7-8 pounds of boost, where I thought it was making 9 or 10. But probably the next video, gonna be pulling the motor out of this thing, going through it. All right, here's the first pass on the GoPro. You can see the AFR is good, and the oil pressure stays pretty steady. He does let off the gas and get back in the gas, and the oil pressure moves a little, but that's common. And on this second pass, you can see the oil pressure. It gets really erratic, jumping around, and even when he lets off the gas, it drops to like 15 oil pressure. And that's usually a telltale sign you spun a bearing. That's gonna do it for this video. Technically, we made it one round because we got a bye, and then we hurt the motor. But oh well, we're learning. Y'all have a good day.